So in this podcast episode, I'm joined by my student worker, Amaiyah Parker. We talk about her journey to George Mason and why she came here, and then what she views as lessons she's learned from student leadership. She's the president of the George Mason NAACP, as well as the Accountability Initiative, which is a nationwide organization with a chapter at George Mason. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career, with a little self-help along the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, people of the world. It's Philip Wilkerson back with another episode of Positive Philter. I'm actually joined by a special guest. Well, everyone's a special guest because they take a time to join me on my show. I'm joined by Amaiyah Monet, who is actually currently the president of the GMU NAACP. Now, if you don't know, I talk a lot. I am the faculty advisor of the Iota Alpha chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha, but also have the great fortune of being the faculty advisor of the NAACP, and because of that experience, I get to connect with such amazing students and student leaders like Amaiyah today. So I just want to have a podcast about student leadership. Amaiyah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Amaiyah Monet. I am a junior. Well, technically, I'm a senior since I'll graduate in the fall.
Okay.
But I am an English and International and Comparative Studies major with a minor in linguistics. And I want to go to law school, so.
There it is. That's crazy. I know you from the Philly area, is that correct?
Yes, I'm from Philly.
So why you come all the way down here to the DMV?
Okay, interesting question. So when I was in 11th grade, I did like this law program at GMU, and it was partnership with GW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a partnership with GW or Georgetown. I can't remember. No, it was Georgetown. So it was GMU and Georgetown. They were partnered together, and they did like this criminal justice and law program. And yeah, I think I fell in love with the school from that moment. Well, I didn't know. I thought GMU and Georgetown were the same thing.
Yeah, fair. George. Okay,
So-
fair. All right. Hold on. Was this like a camp, a summer camp?
Yeah, it was like a. How long was it? It was a couple of days.
Okay, like a seminar,
Yeah.
a conference. Okay.
But they had us like in a hotel,
Mhm.
and then we would come to campus to do a couple of things, and then we had our day at Georgetown and all of the things like that. So it was really cool. We did like mock trials,
Mhm.
and we learned about different civil practices and court practices and things like that. But then we also got to learn about the school itself, like what the school was and what the majors they have to offer and all the programs, and it seemed like a really cool school.
Okay, but curiosity, did they have y'all in DC going to Georgetown, or they had y'all here going to the Mason for the?
They had us in Fairfax. Like we were in
Oh,
a
okay.
hotel like
Okay, yeah,
9 minutes away from the school,
got it.
and then we would go from the hotel to the school,
Yeah.
or from like our hotel rooms to like downstairs in the hotel to do like the workshops and stuff like that, or we would go from our hotel to Georgetown.
So because of this combination, some of the experience was at Georgetown and some of this experience was at George Mason.
Mm-hmm.
So you did both. What about, was it other people from your class, from your school, kids from all over the United States?
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
It was kids from all over the United States, I believe, because I remember, like, actually my freshman year roommate Kalia, she went to the program too. So that's how we was like, oh, we're gonna go here, we're gonna be roommates and stuff like that, and we're still like very good friends to this day. And we went to the program. She was from Detroit, so there was another girl in the program. She was from North Carolina. Somebody was from Tennessee, and then I was from Philly. So it was a bunch of us. And I know for the program, you had to be nominated by like a teacher or advisor from your high school nominate you into the program.
Now, was this, I know it was intersecting law and stuff. Was it like mostly women? Was it mostly for students of color? Was it just everybody?
Oh, no. No.
Oh
it
yeah, he was
not
okay. He was the
percent-
minority. Okay, well, okay. So it was very few black folk. All right,
Yes,
gotcha. All right.
it was not that many of us, if I'm being transparent.
Yeah.
It was men and women there, but it wasn't like a HBCU type of program. Like, you know how they have like the Thurgood Marshall
Yes,
type
yes.
of programs that's only for black people. No, it was
For everybody.
yeah, for everybody.
Everyone interested in law.
Yeah.
And one of your teachers, were you already showing that you were interested in that? To get nominated by one of your teachers in your high school.
I have no clue. To this day,
Okay.
I don't know who
Shout out.
recommended me.
Shout out, hey.
Or
You don't have no clue who did it.
no.
Have you ever did you get the recommendation letter? Do you think it was a teacher? Do you have a guess?
I have a strong guess
Okay.
who did it, because this person also, he was very much like you. He
Oh.
just was always nominating me for stuff.
Hey.
So he put me he also nominated me for this other program that I did. And that's kind of like also what jump-started like a lot of my advocacy career.
Yep.
So he was always just nominating me for stuff. So I was like, I have a strong feeling it's him.
that might be the research. You might have to do
And
that, the background check.
I forgot to ask him, did he do it or not?
No, and I think, this is, I say this in the legacy of the NAACP. You young people are doing great things. I say, I'm going to throw your name in everything because y'all do great work. But I be telling people because I was like, I don't know, I would get credit for, I don't know, I'm an egocentric giver. I don't know if that's a positive thing. But so you came to Mason.
Mm-hmm.
You already had this experience with advocacy or intersection. You said your major was English, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What? And then you have a concentrate and a second minor, right?
Yeah.
What's the minor again?
International Comparative Studies.
Yeah. So take us to why you decided that, and was that already in the mindset of English and this to pursue something with law?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's very interesting because I was gonna do political science.
Yep.
But I have a friend and we danced together, and she was like, oh no, like it's hard. And I already went to a college prep high school. So I'm like, I do not want college to be hard too. I want to do something that I know that I will be able to still do other things. Like I won't just be slaving over work every day.
Yeah.
Like that's how it was in high school. High school was like
A grind.
I had like 8 classes and they were all college level classes. Like
an AP or
yeah,
IB
so
or
they
whatever.
had AP classes too and IB classes, but my school had like they were just college level courses anyway. Like most of the teachers,
Like a dual enrollment kind of thing?
they had dual enrollment, but the school itself was just college prep.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so it was like our regular classes were like 1.2 credits instead of just 1 credit.
There it is. Yeah.
And then like AP was like 1.5, and then honors was 1.2. So
y'all was doing work regardless.
yeah,
Even if you were just like, I don't want to do AP, you're still doing harder work
Yeah.
at this school. And so, but I ain't gonna, I mean, I'm a liberal arts major, and no shade to the history, but I thought it was easy, but it's not. I don't think English is easier. Like, well, that was just a conception that
I
English
think
was.
it's easier. I feel like the only reason why is because 1, I feel like my high school prepared me very well.
Yeah.
And then 2, I just like I'm very analytical. So some of the stuff that I feel like we read in class or whatever, I like just am already thinking like that way, like
Yes.
overthinking or just like always just trying to think critically. It's very interesting to me. So I don't have a problem. Like I love to write essays. I love to do like annotated bibliographies because I like to be organized, like
There it
with
is.
structure and stuff. So English was easier. I definitely do think that I needed something to push myself. So that's why I decided to minor in international comparative studies.
Yes.
So at first I was a dance minor.
Okay. And that's challenging physically.
Yeah. But mentally I wasn't challenged because I was actually going to transfer to UPenn freshman year. But I didn't. I stayed here. Like
Thank God you didn't. You don't need to go to no UPenn. We need your work here. UPenn is Ivy League, and I think that you definitely. So what was? I mean, I didn't even notice. I'm learning this about you right now. What was that deciding factor? Like, hey, let me just stay here and make roots and try to really get my Mason experience and go to UPenn.
Well, 1, I talked to my mom, and I remember because I was like, oh, this school is like super duper duper easy. Like freshman year was like ridiculously easy. I think the only reason I had a B in dance was because I was late. So like everything else was like straight A's. And I was just like, I don't feel challenged the way that I wanted to be in college. And I was like, I also was missing home.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Double.
that. And I was just like, I'd rather transfer. And since I have the GPA right now, I have the opportunity to transfer my sophomore year, and I prayed on it, and it was a no. And I'm thankful for that no, because UPenn doesn't have as great as a international studies program, like going abroad program, as George Mason, and that's really what I want to do in my field. And if I would have transferred, I probably wouldn't have had the opportunities that I've had, like studying abroad and going to
Mm-hmm.
Geneva and talk, like
Yep.
being able to shadow different people at the UN and all the things like that, that has like really pushed me into the career that I want for myself. So I'm really thankful that I didn't transfer, because I don't know what I would be doing, or like
You still be
what
doing
I
great
would
stuff,
do.
but I think it'd be a different, the fork in the road. You just might have a different life, but
Yeah.
you still. I think one of the things that, and I really, this is my 40-year-old man hat, is that I don't really feel like any college is easy or hard, because like if you're a hard worker, like, let me rephrase. If we all have the intellectual capacity to do well, if we really grind, like really, really grind, some people it's easier. Like they're just naturally smarter. But if you really bust yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but you can go to the Ivy Leagues and be a mediocre student, and it don't mean like you just went to an Ivy League and be mediocre. Or you can go to a school and that doesn't have the same big brand as an Ivy League, like George Mason, and maximize your experience, getting involved, studying abroad, and all that. And it's just as valuable. Your degree is just as valuable at that school that you really involved yourself in than a Ivy League school. So I always tell people, like, sometimes go to the school where you feel like you'll get these opportunities, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the brand of that school isn't all that great, or no, all that period, right? Because you can, like I said, go to an Ivy League school and not be really involved, and it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So you did not drop on everybody the multiple things that you're involved in. I think you are a time filler. But I want to specifically talk about the NAACP first, and then all the other organizations. So what made you get involved with the NAACP?
Okay. So, I think that would have been like learning about the NAACP when I was like 8 years old. My dad had this thing where he would teach me and my sisters a Black History fact every day, and if we would learn the fact, and then if we got it right, we would get like candy. So obviously, we would study it every single day, like
Oh,
thinking about it
I
in
gotta take
school.
this. I love this idea.
Yeah, so we would think about it in school, and then it got more intense. So my dad, he went back to school actually, like, he was working a corporate job, and while he was working a corporate job, he went back to school for African American studies,
Oh,
and whatever he was learning, he would come back and tell us,
oh yes,
and
yes.
he would be like, "Oh, I'm assigning you page whatever of my book, and I want you to write like a paragraph about what this organization is, what this person is," and then like we would present it to him, and I had the NAACP, and everything that they stood for and they rooted for, it always stood with me. And I remember, like, around that same time, I went in my dad's wallet and I saw his NAACP card.
Yeah,
So that kind of,
uh,
all those things, it stayed like rooted
yeah,
in me.
yeah.
And when I got to school, I was so excited, because to me, the NAACP always seemed like this like magical group
Oh yeah,
that I just couldn't like get into.
yeah,
Or
yeah. No,
something.
no, no. Yeah. My misconception was I always saw the NAACP on TV,
Mm-hmm.
like Al Sharpton and stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
like I thought you had to be like a lawyer, like you had to be like a prominent Black person to
Yeah,
be in
yeah.
it, like W.B. Du Bois, and learning my history. And then there was like, Phil, there's chapters in college. I didn't even know that. I went to JMU. We had it. I didn't even know we had a chapter.
Yes, I was literally so excited when I
Yeah.
found out that GMU had a chapter here. I joined my freshman year. I signed up, like I put my all into that application to be the political action chair, and it was kind of difficult being a political action chair freshman year because I was abroad.
Yes.
But what I did was I planned things like virtually.
Yes.
So I had like a virtual panel on Black Joy.
I remember that. Yeah.
And that was really interesting. It was really interesting trying to like navigate that, but I still wanted to be involved. So I would like email them like every day, like asking, what is it that I can do, or do you need anything from me, or whatever. Yeah, it was really that was my first experience, and I wasn't even involved back at home because I didn't know that I could be involved.
Yeah, I didn't know there was also a youth
Yeah,
thing either.
me
I
neither.
like this hidden curriculum, and I love the note cards part. Like I remember when I was growing up, my parents gave me. I gotta find them. We had like these black history comic books,
Mhm.
and it was like legit like comic books like Marvel, but had black history stories like Christmas Addicts and stuff.
Mhm.
And I would read these comic books, and now I realize like I knew a lot about black history randomly because of comic books, but now I gotta find these. I'm gonna copy that idea with my boys, man.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell them like random black facts.
It's such
I'm
a
call
good
black
idea.
facts. It just
Me and my sisters, we do it with my brother.
You do?
Yes, we do it with my brother. And he was like, my sister made him watch some documentary on Netflix. And I remember I was telling him like I had to do something. And he was like, oh, is it with the NAACP?
Yeah.
See? I was
Yeah.
like,
I love it. I love it. And so I know you got approached. I think Malcolm tapped you, right,
mm-hmm.
to be president. What was your thoughts when he asked you to do that?
Oh, I was shocked because in my mind, I didn't think I was really doing like anything. So I thought there were more people that would be
Stepping up to be
Yeah.
president. Yeah, for real.
and so when he asked me, I was really honored, and I was like, oh my goodness, but this is like a lot of responsibility because I knew that NAACP wasn't just like a GMU RSO. It was also like a national org. Then it's the
State
Fairfax
org,
Pack.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all so many different layers to it. And I was like, there's a lot that I'm gonna have to do. I was so honored that he asked me, and then it kind of like pushed me into this leadership position because I feel like from that moment forward, I just like see myself like growing
Yeah.
and learning different things and stuff like that.
Now you're also the president of other student orgs.
Mhm.
The and I don't want to mispronounce the names. I know the one is Accountability Initiative. Is that
Mhm.
correct? Can you tell us what was the impetus? I try to use a big word right now. What was that to start these other orgs? Like, and they're new ones. Or
Yeah.
the other one, I know the accountability one was one from Philly that you
Yeah.
brought down here. But tell us a little bit about the other student orgs that you're involved in.
Okay, so with the Accountability Initiative, it's ran by someone that is he's from Philly, where we used to work together in
There
this
it is.
organization called Bolt, and that's the organization I was actually referred to in high school to do advocacy work.
Got
So
it.
Bolt
So,
does
boom, boom.
amazing work,
Okay.
and Andrew, he is the founder of the Accountability Initiative, and it's an organization that he started in high school and then brought to Temple University.
There it is. Yep.
And from Temple University, it just started branching out at all these other schools. I'm like, wow, like an organization that's just based on like community serving Black students. I was like, that's amazing. Like leadership, mentorship, and like community service, scholarship, all those things. I was like, how can we get one of those here? He was like, well, really, like we could set it up. Like
Just charter it.
Yeah. It doesn't take much. It does take much, but
Yeah. That's usually how, I think about this accidental leadership. Most people say it don't take much. And you're like, oh, sure. And it does take much. Yeah.
It took it was easy. I would say like it was easy for it to be like chartered, but I'm still in like the process with like RSO stuff like that. But then the other one is Be Wise, which is Black Women Initiative for Success and Empowerment.
Yeah.
And the past president also asked me to be president as
There
well.
It is. Okay.
So I was actually shocked too because I only came to like I was only at like 4 or 5 meetings, maybe
That's
like
4 is enough.
three meetings or something like that. And she asked me, she was like, I see that you apply for second VP. Because for me, I was like, okay, I can learn from whoever is president, like basically like being their assistant or whatever, like learning about all that they do as president. And then I can work my way up to president my senior year. And she was like, but I feel like your application would be stronger for you to be president. And I was like, interesting.
But the only part, and there's no but, I think you're amazing. Where was the dialogue like, I'm already a president of this. I'm already a president. I don't want to I don't want to burn out. So where was that dialogue? Because you're the president of so many things.
Yeah. So with B-Wise, I got that presidential offer first. And the NAACP, that was second. So I didn't really ever feel like that was too much.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that the one predated the NAACP.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never thought it was like too much. Because I know I learned about triaging when I was in like what?
Bolt?
Like 10th grade.
Okay, yeah.
No, it was with another org called We Reign. We Reign is really like,
you're an organization queen. You was involved. You was involved. Okay, got it.
yes, We Reign is like an organization dedicated to like rooting and empowering Black girls in Philadelphia, and that's really what like pushed me to care so much about Black girls and advocacy and advocating and organizing, and it taught me all the like skills that I have right now. And Bolt is really what pushed me out there.
Okay.
Oh, well, both of them at the same time, because I was doing them both simultaneously. But yeah, I learned about triaging, so I was just like, well, I can just like triage these things. Like, it's not like I'll be doing everything like by myself. Like, I'll just be like kind of overseeing for most parts. And then with the accountability initiative, so in my head, I was feeling like, yeah, that was too much, but I still did it.
You still did it.
I still did it anyway, and I don't complain about it because like I signed myself up for it, and I never feel like it's like too much, like.
And you're gonna learn something out of it, and it's not a complete wash.
Maybe. I don't think it's like too much because thankfully all the organizations they connect.
I was about to ask that.
I do events together, so like. B-Wise and NAACP,
I see it.
They had like an adultification event about like adultification and criminalization of Black girls because B-Wise is an organization catered to Black women and Black girls, and the NAACP, that's like one of their values. So I was just like, boom, event. And then with the accountability initiative at NAACP, one of our like chairs is community service chair. Accountability initiative is community service food drive. Food drive kiosk, so stuff like that.
It's two birds with one stone kind of thing.
And that's really been helping. So it's not just think about like, oh, I gotta do this for that, do this for that, do this for that, do this for that. Even with being like women in the NAACP chair for the Virginia Youth in College, it's never been like, oh, I have to do this for that, do this for that. I try to think about how I can merge all of them together. Of course, some things may not align, or I may have to do things separately. But for example, tomorrow, like NAACP, GMU, and then Virginia Youth in College, women in NAACP chair, and then the national headquarters of NCNW are partnering together to do a Women in Leadership Tea Party. So I was able to bring on NAACP GMU, which is like, once again, like another event for us. Just like kind of do like collaborating all of the multifaceted things that I do, even with the adultification event, because I do research on adultification. I was able to ask my mentor to come
and speak.
Yeah.
So you're seeing the intersections of these organizations, the intersections of their, I guess, their missions, and saying, well, I'm just going to kill two birds with one stone because they already do it. You know, like when we did the NAACP/Alpha voting.
Yeah,
like y'all care about voting. We care about voting. Yeah. I think our organizations have a national MOU or something done, right? So it's not like you're doing way too much.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're doing too much though? When do you feel, like you're doing really well, you got good grades? When do you ever feel like you're getting to a point of doing too much, or what has that been like for this year? Because you've been a leader of all these spaces for almost a full year.
Yeah, the NAACP National Youth and College invited me to be a college affordability ambassador, and I was just like, okay, like yeah, I'll do it, but I felt like in that moment it just was like way too much. So I really haven't been able to, I had to like because I was studying abroad, I missed the introduction for the college affordability ambassador like training, and I just have to like catch up. So it's a lot of catch up and like meetings that I have to go through because I didn't want to say no, but I still feel like that I'm able to balance it well because we have to do events, and then the events that we have to do, I just do them with NAACP,
You're already doing the
GMU.
events. Yeah,
So
gotcha.
it's like
so you look at it and see how can I
Mm-hmm.
combine these things to avoid burnout.
So I guess I don't feel like I am ever doing too much because everything kind of goes in with each other. Because, for example, I'm taking like an ethnographic class, and that's like research, and the research that I'm doing is on adultification. So I'm like, boom, in the class I'll just
Bring
further
that.
research about adultification.
Oh, you're like me. Like, remember we did the documentary. So you're saying like, I'm gonna do this stuff. I'm gonna study this stuff. So my academics is gonna bleed into my my student working stuff. My student working stuff is gonna bleed into my academics. And as long as I find synergies there, I'm just making myself work smarter, not harder. And you still feel like that because of the intersection between the things that you care about in the classroom and then the actual student leadership.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart. What is one thing you learned about yourself in this year as a leader?
One thing that I learned about myself this year as a leader is that I think I learned a lot of things. So I feel like the most important thing that I learned is that it's important to like take breaks and say no, because and to stay organized. Like, and staying organized isn't just like having a calendar or having stuff on your notes, but I also learned that staying organized is like asking for help. Like if I need help doing stuff, or if I ask somebody to do something at a certain time, maybe also making time just in case something might happen, because people have lives. Like trying to do that as well. Like, oh, okay, I asked this person to do something at 5:30. Well, I know I'm not free until 8 p.m. So in case they can't do it at 5:30, I'm able to do it at 8 p.m., which usually doesn't happen, but just in case, like, it does. So asking for help and staying organized, like, it's the same thing. And then being able to take a break, which can be hard because it feels like you just have so much to do, or you want to, like, at least for me, I feel like I want to leave a positive impact for the Black students here at George Mason.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you have to do work. So I'm like, oh, if I take a break, maybe that's not leaving the impact, but I know that it is, because taking one day off or even a week or whatever it may be doesn't negate the fact that things are still happening and things have happened and it is leaving an impact.
I love that. Have you ever felt like, like, I love the fact that you say that you want to leave an impact, and that's always like what is a really great driver. Have you ever felt like, have you received not notable but visible evidence that you have left an impact that's your fuel? Like, do you have an example like, wow, I left an impact, or I'm leaving an impact? Do you have an example where you felt that, like you felt like you're doing it?
I would feel like with the Black student agenda is something that is really, really taking its time, but just hearing all the students' demands, like going around campus and talking to students and letting them know about different resources that they have, different offices that they can go to, and just talking to them about how they can feel safer on campus with demands they may have for whoever it may be, whether it's a professor or an assistant professor or even a president himself. That made me feel like we were making an impact, because sometimes it can be really easy to speak on behalf of people and just assume what they may want or the things that they may need, because like, oh, we're both students. But every student that I talked to said something different.
Yeah.
And if they said something different, it was like, and if they said something the same, it was still different, like based on their own experience. So that I feel like that for sure.
And then you shared a little bit, and I think what is one of your, next steps? You said you're gonna graduate. What is one of your career aspirations? Like, let's say this is it. You're speaking into the universe. It's like a time capsule. What's one thing that, if you listen to this 5 years later, you did, whether it's a work thing or a place you traveled or anything like that. What's one thing you want for yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, what is that? What would I be like? Freshly out of law school, or like 2 years out of law school, or something. Um, I think something for me, 5 years from now, that I would hope to be doing is working in the UN, creating policy about how the adultification of Black girls is a human security issue.
What's the adultification, real quick? I didn't even ask the whole time. I just been
Oh.
like not in my head.
Okay, so adultification is the process of like basically putting adult responsibilities onto Black girls,
Oh yeah,
like
okay.
sexualizing them, and it causes them to lose innocence, care, support, educational support, healthcare support, whatever it is. It's a systemic practice that stems from racism, but also stems from the historical enslavement practices of commodification and objectification. So
Yeah.
now today, Black girls are experiencing it, but a lot of people aren't able to target. Well, a lot of policy from like research that I've done is not really able to target like the experience of Black girls because they do not know what adultification is.
Or they're experiencing, they don't know what they're calling it. I was just thinking like too, in regards to the systemic things, like slavery, was then putting caregiver responsibilities on Black women for like other people's kids,
Mm-hmm.
but also making them do it very young so the kids don't get to be kids.
Yeah.
Here you go, you got to take care of this baby. And probably this young lady, either she had a baby way too young, and she like you don't get to live a childhood, and then, or not being heard from, was it like the overt malpractice of like medicine, where they say like Black women had higher pain tolerance, but then I feel like that intersects with your topic too.
Yeah, and like that's another thing as well. Oftentimes, like, this is why I'm like so passionate about it, and that's why I hope that I am
Involved in the
place,
conversation.
5 years from now, because Black girl issues and Black women issues are sometimes mixed together. And when policy is created for Black women, sometimes people who create said policy think that they are addressing the needs of Black girls, but they're not, because Black girls and Black women do not have the same issues, because a Black girl is a Black girl. So that's why I really hope, like, in 5 years, I will be.
There it is. You champion it. I think I need to talk about that for Black. The Black boys turn to Black men. I think children to men, or children to adulthood. We definitely lump those issues together, right? And this is some powerful work. Wow, that's great. I didn't even know. I'm gonna learn a new word. I mean, I felt like I heard it, but not heard it, but felt, seen it with my eyes, but didn't know there was a word to it. So this is the part of the show called Shot for Shot. You get to ask me a random question. I get to ask you a random question. You want to go first? I go first.
Yeah, I want to go first.
Okay, go ahead.
What inspired you to become an alpha?
I think honestly, I've been very transparent. My dad's a Omega, and I grew up with lots of uncles that were Omegas. My grandfather, he's a Kappa, and I grew up with lots of uncles that were Kappas. And so I would say initially my inspiration for Alpha was when I saw the Alphas at JMU. Like, I was involved in like a Black male group called Collegiate Black Men. But Collegiate Black Men is here. I was involved in a group that was similar. It was called Bond, Brothers of a New Direction. And when you join that student org, basically it's the same thing as Collegiate Black Men. You hang out with these guys, and then the next year, someone comes out and they cross Alpha, and they cross Kappa and cross Alpha. And there was no cues on the yard. And so just by that, I was like, all the people that I hung out with and looked up to, and the older students and the ones I was around became alphas. So I was like, all right. And then also just that personal touch, like someone believing in me. I was invited to, learn more about alpha, like come to this information session. Like, okay. And so that experience exposed me to it. Unfortunately, I didn't finish in undergrad, but that fact that the people I was cool with at GMU and then that people believed in me stayed with me, and it was a bug in my ear, like something I never wanted to like stop. And then I met a coworker at work, and he, brought me back in to Alpha. And once again, it was the same thing. Like the people I was cool with professionally, just by happenstance, like, oh, you're Alpha. Oh, you're Alpha too. Like,
Yeah.
like the people I was around. And I think the mission, I think that really works there too. Like scholarship. I'm a nerd. I don't have the stereotypes of the other ones. I do like being nerdy and academics and scholarly. Scholarship's one of ours, and so I just fit the mold. I'll usually say this. Usually with all these Divine Nine organizations, they're all to uplift Black people.
Mm-hmm.
They all should have the same mission. They all have these like stereotypes and whatnot. I think at the end of the day too, it's like, your like just your peers. Who are you in rooms with that you vibed with? It just happened to be at that time mostly alphas.
Yeah.
And still, there are a lot of people that's just like they just I just feel like I vibe with them, but I don't know. If my kids become something different, I don't care, because I did. I can't say they gotta be alphas or buzz, because I ain't a Q, but I think that hopefully the imagery and the circles and spaces that my sons are in, regardless if they're alphas, whatever, are positive Black male spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And that's regardless of that, that's something I wanted for my sons. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I have for me with alpha. So hopefully, regardless, I think I just want that for them. And that's what alpha is for me. It's just a positive Black male space. Yeah. 06. All right. So my question for you, English major, what is a book that you've read that you read for fun or read for yourself that was impactful?
Okay.
And that you just like it don't have to be like related to adultification, no scholarly. It just be like, I read this book and this one, I loved it. It was a good book for me.
Crazy, because the book is related to it.
Okay. Well, that's good.
But it's called Letter to My Daughter by Maya Angelou. And ironically enough, Maya Angelou doesn't have daughters. She only has sons, or a son. And in the book, she kind of just talks about her life and every mistake that she made. And it reads like a novel, like a memoir, something like that. And it's just really like, it really feels like a letter. I really like that. I really enjoy reading that book. I read it a while ago, and ever since then, like, it's stuck with me.
And that basically, I mean, I'm assuming like that adultification happened to her, because you said Maya Angelou, she was assaulted.
Yeah.
So she lived this thing that you're studying. Did she kind of talk about it in a way that was like framing it in the thing that you're thinking about, or just you connected it? Like when I think of that topic, I think of this story by Maya Angelou.
No, I actually just connected it right now.
Oh wow! I'm connecting it right now. Yeah, for sure. Like she had like a hard life. Wow, look at us. We should be scholars. One day we're gonna write a book together or something. Write a chat. We write a publication. I'll talk about some research. I'll make up a topic. We'll figure it out. All right. So this is the part of the show called shout outs and plugs. This means you get to show love to anyone you want to show love to, and then plugs. These are the things that I'll make sure to put in the show notes, which is like the names of the organizations that you're involved in, all that. Shout outs and plugs.
Okay. That's shout out. I would first like to shout out my coworker Dorian. We both work in the Paul Robeson room. Shout out the Paul Robeson room. But my coworker Dorian, I think he does amazing work, and he's very passionate, and he always provides such life to the room. He always has like these questions of the day, and it gets people talking. And before, it's not like people weren't talking in a room, but the question of the day, it kind of makes everybody feel like community, builds that sense of community. Like everybody's like, no, like waffles are better than pancakes. Or the last question was more serious. It was about like, does every life have value and stuff like that. And some debates are more impactful and meaningful, but some are more silly or like whatever. And I just appreciate him, like making the space more lively and welcoming. And who else? I could shout out. I guess everybody and Paul Robeson, like Jatan Myers, and Dr. Berger, like everybody, my NAACP team, my BY team,
There you go.
like specifically my yeah, I don't know.
Your
Like,
accountability, the
Yeah.
initiative team.
well, right now it's just me, but
There you go.
Yeah.
You shout out to yourself. All right.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is. Well, this has been a great episode, and I'm so proud of you and all the things you're doing. And as I said, you joined a legacy of such amazing students doing great work around campus, and I wanted to highlight your story.
oh wait,
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
Not at
One
all.
more shout out, Dr. Wendy Manuel Scott.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like she pushed me so far in my research. She was my mentor for my research over the summer, and she told me, like, before I did the research, I had to take her class on pathologizing Black childhood, and I took her class. It was an amazing class, and it opened up so many different perspectives. But she was so patient with me. She worked with me. She pushed me. She's really like I look up to her, so I can't forget to.
Well, she's
shout
doing great
her
work
out.
too.
Yeah.
She's all involved in the Wilkins Plaza and all that. So shout out
Yeah.
to her. If you don't know, like she's like one of the pillars of Black academia here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to her. Her husband's alpha though. So just throwing that out there too. You know, all of us is connected. You know what I'm saying? Scholarship. But so proud of you. I'll definitely put all the orgs in your thing. For those that are listening, you know that every episode is dedicated to the memory of my father-in-law, Jeff Kirsch, and the Anti-Hunger Fund in his honor. So please consider donating to that. Additionally, if you're a member of the Mason Nation, please consider submitting a Pats for Patriots to show kindness to someone else at Mason. And then just continue to like, subscribe, elevate this podcast to your audience. Thank you so much for listening, and we're out. Thank you for listening to Positive Philter, a podcast that focuses on family, friends, career, with a little self-help along the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends, and like the Facebook page, Spreading Positivity of Movement. Thanks for listening.